the computer like lets me know things. It's like my ex called me, and I thought it was weird because how did they get my phone number? And it's like they got a hold of someone that knew me, and so I was kind of mad. I knew, like, because I see it on the computer. Like, sometimes the computer will tell me in the tags, like, I make this video, and then in the tags it'll say, like, your friend was watching this, and then it says their name, and I'm like, oh, so the tags are now telling me things. Okay. It told me my friend was upset by the video or something, you know. Or, I mean, you know, that's just some of the things it does. And then sometimes I get premonition, like, I'll be like doing something, taking a shower. I know, like, I'll be taking a shower and I'm like, I have a feeling that I should look this person up or something. And so, like, I'll look them up and see, hey, they're talking to someone I know, when they weren't before. And it's like, so you gotta understand, the computer knows everything. It knows everything. So if you called me, right? Okay, so I called this person. Now the computer knows that. The computer knows that they contacted me. Okay? So now if I look up me now, it's going to say, I just talked to her. The computer knows that. So if I looked you up, it'll tell me who you just talked to. And if it's somebody I know, I'll say, hey, you just talked to my friend. The computer told me. Because there's national databases about you. I don't have to look up anything. It's a Google search. And it'll kind of like let you go down. It'll give you information that it knows that you want. If you know somebody, it'll let you see them. If you don't know them, it ain't going to let you see it. It knows, like, what to allow, what you already know, or what you should know. It knows, dude. It knows. I don't know if it's a computer. I don't know if it's people putting this information in the computer. I don't know. But if I call my ex, it's going to say on there now that I called her, if you look up my name. And I knew that because if I look up my name now and I see, hey, it says I just called her, what do you think? You know? I was pulled over once and they said, your phone is tapped and we heard what you said or something, you know, so you better watch out or something, you know. And I'm like, well, if you heard what I said, you'll know that I didn't say anything. So why would you stop me and let me know what I said when I didn't say anything? Like, are you retarded? And they're like, yeah. So they're just basically letting me know that they listened to the phone. And it's like, so what? I was like, so what? And they didn't do anything. They wanted to let me know that they know, you know. And if I did anything bad, they would have arrested me. They were just letting me know they know everything. I'm not talking about the cops either. This is like the NSA spy network shit. I would like to be able to talk to somebody without it showing up under my name. That's why a lot of people won't talk to me, because it's going to show up, the connection there, that we made a connection, and that's going to show up in their job or anything. And it's going to say the last person this person talked to was this person, and then they're going to look up that person and they're going to say, you mean they were talking to that person there? You're fired. So it's like, you could get fired for just talking to me. These people are making their lives too public. I don't make my life 100% that public, and they still know everything about me. How do they know that I just called somebody? How do they know that? How does the computer instantly know that? Because the phone is the computer, and it's linked to the computer, and it goes through the computer, and the computer knows it, and it says you called this person, and it's simply because there's no wiretapping law. They can wiretap you, and it's okay. If you wiretap them, they'll charge you with wiretapping, but they have you wiretapped. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, it doesn't matter. And the computer is putting things in my tags that it thinks that it wants me to know. If somebody's upset, it puts in the tags, hey, your friend is upset, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, why don't you return the message like, fuck you? How about that, Mr. Computer? But, I shouldn't say that. That's mean. I don't know. But it's like, I get mad at people because they don't call me. And then guess what? They just called me. So it's like, I didn't call them. I've been sitting here like making videos, putting out the law of attraction. And when they call me, they're like, are you a witch? Did you cast spells on us? And it's like, because I even told them, like, the power, the law of attraction will make things happen. So it was nice to see, like, they cared enough to call or to seek me out or to contact somebody. That let me know, like, that they care. Because I was mad, I thought they didn't care. So now I'm, like, less mad, for sure. Because I just, like, thought it, and they called me. I didn't give them, how did they get my phone number? They knew who to contact through the computer. They got on the computer, and I seen them doing it. Like, I don't have them hacked. I don't know who they are. They're on the fucking social network. They're putting too much shit out there. And a lot of it's blocked. Even if your profile's private, you can still see your other friends' profiles and how they connect, and everything's like connected. And you can see when one profile talks to another, even though yours is blocked, it's showing up on the other. And if theirs ain't blocked, so you can tell. It's a network. And there's no information on there. The only information is the bubbles that pop up when people are communicating. And you don't know what they're saying. You just know they're communicating. And you can guess what they're communicating about. What are they communicating about? Me. Why? Because they're worried. Why? Because I'm worried. Why aren't they worried? They need to be worried. Not in a bad way, but it's like, that's the thing. If they're cold-hearted, I say they're cold. So I put out the message, you're fucking cold-hearted. And that's like a spell. And then they ask me, did you cast a spell? And it's like, well, yeah, you're cold-hearted. You don't even care about your friends. So then they call me and it's like, well, okay, you're not as cold as I thought. Which is, it's kind of interesting. So I'll say like, well, I'll never forget her. And they're like, well, you should. And it's like, I don't think it's her. I don't think it's her fault. Like, maybe she didn't do anything. But it's like, you'll never forget. It's like, if you touch an electric fence, you'll never forget. But they did kind of confirm. They're like, well, yeah, we're a little cold, but that's just life. But they're like, we're stupid. They're like, you're right, we're stupid, but you're stupid too. And I'm like, yeah, I'm stupid, you're stupid, you're right, I'm dumb, you're dumb, that's acceptable. So it kind of works its way out. Like, they're just zombies, and they're like, we're just zombies. What do you expect? I'm like, you're right, At least we can laugh about that. I'd rather laugh, we're all zombies, than always have to worry about that or something, So it's kind of good to kind of know, like, well, there's just zombies. So then, for me, I'm like, okay, so it wasn't that you necessarily meant it, you just didn't know, or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel better that, like, you only half meant it. And it's like, well, that's real, And it's like, real is better than not knowing, or something, So it's kind of weird. It makes sense. I talk to the computer, and so it's gonna know. And not only that, it's not just the computer. There's this telepathic type ability there too, where the law of attraction, you're putting it out, and it's not just the computer, it's not just you putting it, it's all of it combined. These wires are all like leading into the network, and it's just, and that's its own telepathicness and its own way from just being like fucking eagle-eyed. I don't know, I'm burping. I just ate hot food or something. But it's like, well, I thought they're cold, but it's just from like ignorance in a way. Like, they are stupid, but it's like, I don't know, like, is stupid sexy or something? I don't know how else to put it. Like, like a ditzy blonde, is that sexy? I mean, it kind of is. It's kind of not, but it's like, you know. Like, they're just zombies, so it's kind of funny. Like, they're just dumb, like, you know. And it has its own innocence, you know. Like, not that they're innocent, but I don't know. But I mean, something's got to be done about this computer knowing everything. You know, they want me to go on the social networking sites so they could help find me something, you know. And I think I probably should, like, go on these social things and get hooked up with something, and I'm sure they'll even help fucking guide me through it if I have any more problems. And so I feel like I should accept that, but it's like, it's social networking. I won't go to Facebook because of just, it's so in your face, nosy, and it's like they're all zombies, but that's like normal. Like, it's like a blonde being ditzy. It's fucking normal. But even though they're kind of ditzy, maybe, I hate saying that because I don't want you to misunderstand me. Not that they're really ditzy, but that, they are. But even though people are ditzy, this computer is like sucking all that ditziness up and understanding it, and it knows things about you that maybe you think it doesn't matter, and in a way it doesn't, but then it really does. Like, they don't need to know we ever talked, and they know. And I don't always like that. I like it on one end, like, wow, they know, that's cool. And then on another end, I'm like, it's weird. Like, it's a prison. And somebody left a comment, and they were like, you must like prison. Or they said something, I don't even care, but it was weird, because it didn't have anything to do with what I told them. And that's the thing, I made a comment that had nothing to do with what they told me, so they made a comment back that had nothing to do with what I told them, and they said about prison, because I told them, I said, you eat shit, and it had nothing to do with what we were talking about. I said, you must like shit because you keep eating it. And it was kind of off topic. And then he's like, you must like jail because you keep living there. And I'm like, that's not really, that's off topic, but it's like, I talk about that shit. So it's like, he probably just seen my video or something. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not thinking about it that much. But it's like, I hate these people because it's like, I feel like they're cold, like they don't care. But really, it's like, they're not just cold, they're also ignorant and cold. And so that's why I said, you gotta be cold back. That's like, when you're cold back, they kind of know they fucked up, and so that destroys their ignorance there. When you're like, oh yeah, fuck me, fuck you, they're like, fuck you, whatever, like a zombie, and you're like, oh yeah, well fuck you, motherfucker, and they're like, I didn't mean it, So that's why I say, like, be cold back, but only because they're doing it, to show them, like, actions speak louder than words. They might not know they're cold, and so it's not, you don't want to, it's like two wrongs don't make a right, but sometimes to just show them the error of their ways, not that they'll even care, but it's like, you know, they might. So I'm saying, like, be really fucking cold back. If they're cold to you, be cold back, and they might say, well, you know what, I respect you now. And it's like, I don't need that respect, but it's like an understanding that they didn't know. And so that was the reason to be cold back, is to let them know how it felt. And the colder they are to you, the karma's gonna get them back, and then they're gonna feel it, and they're gonna know, like, you can't do that, and you're just gonna live with the repercussions of it. Maybe, not that it matters, but when one person feels bad, we're all gonna feel bad, whether you like it or not. That's why I don't mind feeling bad, because when you vibrate at a certain frequency, you're changing the frequency of the frequencies around you. So if I'm depressed, it'll make you depressed, and even if you're not around me, the universe becomes depressed, because I changed its vibration. And I'm going to make an amplifier and amplify it and make it even worse. So yeah, I know fucking magic. You talk about vibration, vibrated love. I'm going to make an ELF cannon that vibrates my vibration, and I'll make you feel that. Motherfucker. What do you think about that? I'll make a wind tower and hook me up to it, and then go and use my telepathic abilities with the computer and mix this with that and fucking amplify that shit and beam your face off, and then you can be in the movie Face Off. I need to quit smoking. I just keep smoking. I'm like, I'm gonna quit, and then I just keep doing it, and it's like, the fuck. I even quit for 6 months, and it's like, I still smoke. How could that happen? You quit for 6 months, no cigarettes, 6 months, and then you're like, I still smoke. I quit. And you're like, what the fuck? It's like, it just like becomes you. You're like a cigarette. You're like, you're like, I can't help this. And it really does fuck me up. Like, this is my last pack. I don't have any more cigarettes, so as long as I don't get any more cigarettes. Like, I'll tell somebody how to fix their car. It ruins my life. I'm like, I know your car. I know how to fix it. And they're like, okay, well, I don't believe you, so wait a week, and then we'll let you tinker with it and pay you nothing and make fun of you while you do it. But we'd rather give $200 to the guy that ripped you off for your first car and so I get pissed, and then so I have to like waste my life, do all this shit for your stupid, and so I'm not happy that I have to necessarily put up with not only my stupid but other people's too, because I'm pretty stupid. And it's like, I don't know, I don't have anything because no one wants to listen or something. Not really, I don't know. That's just the thing, is it's like, I don't know. Trying to fix cars. Like, once I hired a mechanic to remove a broken bolt because I was fixing my car and the bolt broke and I didn't know how to reach it and get to it, but I hired him and then kind of watched him do it, and he took everything out of the way and then pulled the bolt out. And I was too afraid to pull everything out of the way because I was like, what if I don't know how to get it back together? But it's like, it's just, everything's bolt on. And it just seems more complicated than it is. You get all the stuff out of the way, it's not that complicated. You look at this stuff and you're like, man, that looks complicated. It really isn't. You know, you move the stuff out of the way, it has some bolts in it, you just pull your head out of your ass and just do it. Things just sound complicating. When you go to do it, you're like, wow, I thought this would be complicated. It's really fucking easy. Like, that's the thing about cars or anything. People are like, I don't know about them. Even just basic information on them. Like, there's compression. They compress. They have pistons. They go up. As long as you understand, like, the basics, spark, fuel, compression, intake and exhaust. That's how your car works. And it's like, it's 5 things. That's not that complicated. 5 things. You know. And, you know, I was ripped off for not knowing. You will be ripped off for not knowing. I could rip you off for you not knowing. I would rather have an educated buyer than a lemming buyer. But I'm fucking myself out of so much money when I do that. I'm not cold. A cold-hearted person would use your ignorance to their advantage. To extend further from that, you have useful idiots, which they don't know how cars work, but they're a mechanic. And they know, well, they can fix it, maybe. They just have to diagnose it. So then you can be ripped off because they don't know how to diagnose. Which, if they knew about cars, they should. And even though they do that for their life, they're a useful idiot. Their life, they've been a useful idiot. So they don't know that, like, how do I explain that? They're useful idiots. They might not know they're ripping you off. They'll say, okay, your car's fucked. It's going to cost you $1,000. But really, they don't know. And they'll just make some shit up, and they don't know. Instead of trying to figure it out then and then telling you what it is, they don't want you to be informed. And that's a way they rip you off. So it stems from your ignorance, them knowing they don't really know, but there's a rip-off involved there. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. But instead of telling you, well, you have to pay for a diagnosis, we know there's something wrong, but instead of telling you that, they're like, well, your engine's blown, it's going to cost you $1,000. And so they get it back to their shop. They don't replace the engine. They're like, okay, what's wrong? Let's diagnose it. And they're like, okay, your spark plugs were loose. That's what it was. And so they do that, and then they tell you you got a new engine. And you don't. Your spark plugs were loose. Because whoever put them in last didn't tighten them up all the way, and they finally jiggled loose and lost enough compression to not run. And then they told you, well, your engine's low on compression, or something. The way it's behaving, it seems like your piston rings are blown. So they tell you, we're putting new piston rings in it, when really they don't. And so they know once your car's fixed, you're going to be happy your car's fixed. You spent the money to do it. You don't really know. You're just happy your car's fixed. So they know that. I can't do that. As a mechanic, as a human being, I can't use your ignorance against you. I have to try to inform you. Even if you're like, fuck you, just fix the damn thing. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm like, well, I don't want to fix your fucking car then. How about that? You don't want to know how your car works? Then I don't want to fucking fix it. Take it to the dude down the road that'll rip you off and keep you ignorant. And stay out of my fucking life, you know? And it's like, I don't want to fix someone's car if they want to be ignorant in a way. And I just can't help it. I gotta go. Someone's calling.